So let us talk about Boolean. So Boolean data type. So like I've explained to us before, Boolean is just true or false. That is what Boolean is. Boolean is a data type that the value is either true or false. So if I say is underscore log in, I can say equals to true, or you can say false. So that is what it is. So although it does not have some special method it work with, but it work with operators. We have both logical and comparison operators. So it work with operator, but it does not have some special method that work with it, like you saying is logging dot something. So it does not have special method that it works with, but it works with operators. Like you can say it's logging and this, or you can say it's logging less than, something like that. So those are what it works with. And some important of knowing this logical operator is like it control the flow of your program. So we'll be doing some coding soon, so just take note of this. So it control the flow of your program. It's help you to make logical reasoning, like it help you to compare two things together and tend to make decision, right? And once this decision, or let me say this condition is not reached, the program will not run, like the code will not run. So those are some importance of this Boolean data type. So Boolean data type, like what I told you, it can either be true or false. So we have some logical operators like and, we have or, we have not. So depending, if you are using and, if I say something like, let me say it's login and, let me say something like as underscore permission. So if I do something like this, if it's login and as permission, but I have not defined what as permission is. So that's why I cannot just do this. But I'm trying to show you that we have some we have some logical operators like and, or, not. So if you use and, if and is between two Boolean, it means that both statements must be true for the output to be true. But if you are using or between two Boolean, okay, I think let us be writing code so that I think it will be better. So let's say something like is logged in. Is login is true. Is login is true. Then let's say something like as underscore permission. Let's say it's false. So as permission is false, but is login is true. So if I say can underscore access, so want to know if this person can access. So for it to be able to access it is login and as permission. So if is login and he has permission, that is when we can give him access to that resource we want to access. But if he's login but do not have permission, cannot access that thing. So this output will be false. The reason being that his login is true, but as permission is false, which is what you see here. So if this part is true, this part is false, it will be false. Because why? For and to return true, both must be true. Now, if I should duplicate this line, but I change here to or. If I change here to or, so this one is going to return true. So when you are using or, as far one side is already true, the output will be true. So that is something you just need to know. Some area where they also use all this Boolean is when they are toggling something on and off. You must have visited the website. They will tell you to enable 2FA. When you click on it, it's like as saying a button will move to one side. So that is Boolean. So it's like a switch, So you either you on it or you off it. It cannot be on and off at the same time. It's either it's on or it's off. So if it is on, it is true. If it is off, it is false. So 0 and 1, but we are not dealing on mathematics. So, but that is basically what it is, and it works with different operators. So if for example now, let me come to our terminal here. I will just clean this thing. I can say A equals to 10. I can say B equals to 20. Now we already know A is greater than B. If I say A double equals to B, you see it is a false. So I think when we were doing the integer, the number data type, I explained all these things to us. If we say not equals to B, so I type D there, not as I want to say B, not equals to B, it returns true because A is not equals to B. If I say A less than equals to B, it's a false because A is not less than B. Actually, A is not less than B. I mean, if I say is A less than or equals to 5, I mean, if I say B, it's a false. So, because A is actually greater than 5, right? So, but let me type it again. It's B I want to write here. If I write B, it said true. So, we just need to take note of all these things. If I say A greater than B, it's a false because A is not greater than B. Now, if you will come into websites or mobile app creation, we can have something like this. Let's say something like is login equals to true. Let me just clean this part like this. Let me clean this part like this and just say, okay, is login is true. So that means the user is logging. We can say if is login, like the user is login, we can print welcome back. We put his username here, welcome back user. Maybe welcome back Isaac, depending on his username. But let's just write user, welcome back user. S, we can print please log in. So something like this. So just save it. So if you run this code now, you see since is login is set to true, we're not saying if is login. So if the user is logging, we print welcome back user. But if it's not logging, we print please log in. Mind you, we have already set it to true. But in a real life scenario, what happens is that when the user, you give the user, use your input. Talk about input, right? So you use your input to get the input from the user. So you get the username, you get his password. Then you try to use that detail the user gives to you to authenticate, to log in into your database. So if you can use that his username and his password to log in, then that means you will now set his login to true. But I'm trying to make this tutorial as short as possible. So that's why I'm just giving you this, and also to make it simple. So that's why I'm giving you all this example. So in a way, I'm still trying to show you how these things are being done. So, but once the user is logging, once you set this to true, before you can now say welcome the user. That is after you have used the username and password he gave to you to log in and it works. But the person does not know about it. So when you're able to log in, you redirect the person. You can tell the person welcome this on the person dashboard. So let's just save it and run it and see. So to run it, you will notice our interactive share. So I won't be running it in this interactive share. So what I'll just do, I'll just exit from the interactive share. So now let me clear the screen. So on this place, now I'm just going to use type Python space part5.py. It say welcome back user, because why? We have already set its login to true. So let me comment this out. So how about in a scenario in which you want to enable a particular feature? Let me assume you already have an existing mobile app or website in which people are using, but now you created a new feature, but you don't want this feature to be available to everybody. So what you do is that you put it in setting. So your user go to setting and click a button. Like what I told you, Boolean is like true or false, is on or off. So by default, you will set that feature to false. So meaning it will not be enabled on a user account. So probably any feature of your choice, so that the feature will not be enabled. So you want them to go and toggle it on, right? So we can do something like this. Let me say featured enable equals to true. So meaning like this feature enable equals to true, like what I told you, just like I did in this is login. In this case, it's when the person click the button, you make this variable as true, but by default it will be false. That is what I also told you in is login. When the person give you, when you use your input, we talk about input I think in our part 2 or part 3. So when the person give you his username and password, like what I said, it's after you have logged in the user is now logging, you set his login to true. But because we are doing tutorial, I'm just giving you this example to show you how it actually works. So feature enable is true. That is if the person have clicked the button. That button you will show the person that is on or off. It's pushed to both sides. Go to some website, you see what I'm talking about. So when you put feature underscore enable is true, what you do now say if feature enabled. So you print new feature is enabled. So that means the person have enabled the new feature in his own account. Else, you can tell the person new feature is disabled. Depending on you, any statement you want to write, you can say new feature is disabled. Disabled. So something like this, disabled. So let us run this thing and see. Come here, press up. You say new feature is enabled. But if I turn here to false, remember to always save your code after running it. It says new feature is disabled. So, but mind you, like what I told you, turning here to true or false is from the user end. So from his account, he will click the button. So that is what turns it to either true or false. So now let us move into dictionary data type.